Welcome back. Delinquent taxpayers who need help resolving their debts with the IRS usually do so through an offer in compromise. John Harris is CEO of J.K. Harris & Company, which is a business that specializes in tax resolution. He joins me now to explain how the process works. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
So here we are at the end of the summer, and is this about the time where the IRS starts knocking on your door if you haven't paid up your taxes, and you're going to start to get those letters now?
Unfortunately, nope. It takes the IRS probably about a year to get in touch with you.
Now, do some people think, well, I haven't heard from the IRS, so everything must be fine. They haven't figured it out yet. Is that really a poor way to handle the situation?
Well, if they don't have any W-2s or 1099s on file with the IRS really doesn't know they have income. So now if they're a wage earner or they are a subcontractor and they have 1099s, then the IRS will catch them, but usually it takes about 2 years for the IRS to catch them. And the reason being is the IRS only runs the matching program, which is where they match your 1099s and your W-2s to see if you filed a tax return. Mm-hmm. That takes place typically about a year and a half after the filing date. Mm-hmm. So it's generally about 2 years before they would catch you.
People may think, well, they don't know yet, they haven't caught me yet, so there won't be any penalties till they catch me, right? And that's not the way it works.
You're exactly right. The penalties are accruing and the interest is accruing from the day the assessment is made. Mm-hmm. So if the taxes were due on April the 15th, the penalties and the interest start accruing on April the 16th.
And there you have it. What happens if you suddenly find yourself, the IRS finds you, they send you the letter, you realize, they caught me. What do you do?
Well, the first thing you have to do is determine if you can pay off the liability. First calculation that the IRS will make when they're determining an offer in compromise is they will determine if you can pay off your liability during a 10-year period of time from the date the tax is assessed. Mm-hmm. In other words, the government has 10 years to collect the tax from you. So first thing they'll do is calculate what's called your monthly disposable income. That's your surplus income each month. And if that will pay off your liability over the remaining number of months on the statute of limitations for collection, then you don't qualify for an offer in compromise.
It has to be something very large. It has to be something that you can't afford to pay off in order to get into an offer in compromise situation?
It depends on your income level, and it also depends on your net equity and assets. The IRS has a formula that they use to determine the minimum amount that they will accept in an offer in compromise. And basically, it's your net equity and assets after paying off the creditors who come before the IRS. And then they add to that the present value of a 5-year installment agreement. So if you have any significant monthly disposable income, it's a high probability you will not qualify for the offer.
Now, how do you set this up? I mean, you do this on a professional basis. Is this something that you need a professional to be involved with to actually calculate this properly and really, at this point, get the best deal with the IRS?
Well, it's really kind of bizarre right now because nobody can calculate whether you can pay off your liability over the remaining number of months on the statute except for the IRS. And they won't give the software to the professional community, and they won't give the software to the public. So this just started about 6 months ago, so we're really kind of in the dark right now. We feel that the IRS is going to provide the practitioners with the software to perform this calculation, but it's a very complex calculation.
Well, they probably don't want people to take advantage of the situation, to put themselves in a situation where they don't have to pay as much as they really should.
That's very true, very true.
And that's something you have to work out with this, because they don't want people using this as a loophole.
Exactly, exactly. It's meant, the offer and compromise program was really designed to be a fresh start program for people who were so delinquent in their taxes that it was virtually impossible for them to pay it off. And what the offer and compromise does is it allows them to pay that tax off. They can now do it in installments. Once the offer is accepted, you can pay that offer over a number of months. Actually, you pay it over a number of years now. If you want to.
How long does it take to negotiate that?
Unfortunately, too long. The current system the IRS is working with is a centralized system. All the offers are submitted into 2 locations. If you're on the West Coast, they go to Memphis. If you're on the east of the Mississippi River, they go to Holtzville, New York. And it's about 6 months from the time you submit the offer now until the offer comes up for review.
Very interesting. John Harris, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
CEO of J.K. Harris & Company. Plenty still ahead here on Bloomberg Personal Finance. Stay with us. We're back right after this.